Is Jeremy Crawford's next move teaming up with Critical Role and Darington Press?
Yes, go, real!
Before we dive into Jeremy Crawford's first big public appearance since leaving D&D and why it has TTRPG fans all a Twitter, why not take a second to hit those like and subscribe buttons to help us keep content like these videos coming. And then, let's dive into the news. Jeremy Crawford had kept a relatively low profile since officially leaving Wizards of the Coast and D&D a few weeks back, right around the same time as fellow D&D legend Chris Perkins stepped down from his post at Wizards of the Coast, but a sighting over the weekend has the internet buzzing over his next potential move. You see, Crawford and his husband were photographed at the big Critical Role 10th anniversary gala last weekend, which was the former D&D lead dev's first major public outing since stepping down from D&D, and it immediately got some fans asking if he would be joining up with Critical Role and Darington Press. And while that is pure speculation at this point, it's not entirely without merit either. You see, unlike Chris Perkins, who had been a guest star on Critical Role and shown up to the studio several times, Jeremy Crawford never really had such a connection with the Critical Role cast. And in fact, it was Perkins, not Crawford, who acted as a managing editor and then project co-lead for the Explorer's Guide to Wildemount and the Critical Role Call of the Netherdeep D&D sourcebooks. So when it was Crawford, who was actually far more known for his work as the replacement for Perkins as Dungeon Master for Acquisitions Incorporated, the actual play done by Penny Arcade, who showed up in the pictures at the big event instead of Perkins, people wondered if he was signaling a new connection with the Critical Role cast. Now, there are a ton of reasons Crawford could have been at the event. He was photographed alongside Luke Gygax and could simply have been a guest of the fellow D&D luminary, or of course just come on his own as a big member of the TTRPG community, but it is curious to note that Perkins recently made his public debut after leaving D&D by reclaiming his role as DM for Acquisitions Incorporated at PAX East. So perhaps Crawford has decided to try his luck with a different actual play outfit in light of that. Now, as for Darrington Press, they already have a lead designer, friend of the channel, and the man who largely guided Daggerheart to life, Spencer Stark, but Critical Role is looking to expand even more into the world of TTRPGs. And it's not like Crawford is completely unaware of their work, having vetted the rules of the Explorer's Guide to Wildemount book, if not actively helping create them like Perkins did. And as Darington Press grows, and especially if they want to make their whole Illuminated World system into a real, standalone TTRPG system, and not a series of short, one-off mini-books like Candela Obscura was, having another designer with Crawford's level of experience would be a huge boost and a major asset. We could easily see Crawford being given free rein to create new Illuminated World source books or work on adventure modules for Daggerheart, while Spencer Stark and Rowan Hall and the rest of the team focus on creating more core rulebooks for the primary game. And as Critical Role keeps ramping up their output at Darington Press, it seems like someone will need to fill that role eventually, as the burgeoning media giant shows no signs of slowing down. Now that said, it's no guarantee Crawford was anything more than a guest or a guest of a guest at the Critical Role 10th Anniversary Bash, but there is one more very interesting wrinkle to explore. You see, Critical Role keeps expanding their actual play content, and clearly Matt Mercer cannot DM all of these various projects, and would also occasionally like to play in the games himself. And the rest of the cast, while all capable storytellers, don't come by it as naturally or as quickly as Matt, and need limited series runs and lots of prep time before they can take over the DM seat. And even then, that runs the risk of them burning out just as much as Matt burning out. But Crawford is one of the few people with a huge resume of actual play DM experience with his time as DM of Acquisitions Incorporated that is now currently unattached, so to speak. And if Critical Role were to, say, do split main campaigns in the future, where they alternate between Daggerheart and D&D, it would make a lot of sense to have Crawford handle one of those and allow Matt to play so he can kind of rest his DM brain between running his sessions. And with Brendan Lee Mulligan and Abria Iyengar, the two most frequently used guest DMs on Critical Role, now busier than ever in running their own actual play, the incredibly successful Worlds Beyond Number, and probably unlikely to have the time to commit to a project of that length, maybe Crawford is on his way to becoming the second official DM of the Critical Role series. But what do you think? Would Jeremy Crawford be a good fit for Critical Role or Darington Press? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.